Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another evening of South American DPC. Division 2 is what we start off with today. My name is DkTruman, and I am joined by, again, a first-time English caster out there, a Portuguese turned English. Ace, thank you for joining me.
Hello, DK. I'm glad to be here. Hello, everyone. Yeah, kind of nervous, but we'll see. Brazilian team playing against a half Brazilian player. I'm not sure if you know about that, but Hermit, South team player, is very known in Brazil. This guy is loved here.
Okay.
So I'm very happy to cast his game.
Oh yeah, South team. I mean, I'm not that very well familiarized with them. I think I've seen one or two of their players. I think I've seen Monthly come by every once in a while. But for the most part, the team that is fairly unknown made it all the way through the Open Qualifiers. Did not have a great series the first time around. They got taken down by Ravens. But, you know, Ravens are kind of the top contender for the first spot against another team that you, of course, might be very much familiarized with, Curitiba, that are currently vying for that top spot. For the people that don't know, Ace is the content manager over at Curitiba, so if there's any content you like, he had a part in it.
Yeah, hit me up on Twitter. I'll consider.
He'll probably just ignore you, but, you know, he's doing that for good measure.
Yeah, we need you guys. Please send ideas.
Yep, but that is for Curitiba. However, we are here to watch another Brazilian team-ish, NoPing Esports, that are going to be facing up against South Team. NoPing, of course, very renowned players in their lineup. You've got Leo Style from, well, a multitude of teams. Of course, super solid mid laner. But the one that every Brazilian is looking forward towards is watching Mandy perform. I think most people definitely are a big fan in the region of his. They did not have a very good showing in their first game, though. That's kind of surprising to me, because in my eyes, NoPing were, I mean, together with Curitiba and probably with Ravens, kind of that top contender for a first spot, but they just got destroyed in their first series, which definitely was a bit of a surprise by the Dreamers.
Yeah, this team is stacked. You know, everybody, I guess, was with high hopes for them, but they fluked on the I mean, they just played bad on the first game. We hope them to make a comeback right now, because this is a very new team. We have some players that maybe never played together, so I think it will take time for them.
Yep, definitely will be the case, most likely. Also, you know, new patch came in right before, so a couple of heroes changed. I mean, I'm saying that, but for the most part, all the same heroes are still being picked. I guess slightly less Marana and Hoodwink, maybe. And way too much Enigma after that major. But yeah, for everyone, it's still the first couple of weeks testing ground, see what works best. I mean, you know, Wraithback still works like a stupid, monstrous item.
Yeah, increasing in size would solve the problems, Valve said.
Yeah, like that made any difference.
At least we see the item, you know? At least we see the little thingy, not now a little bigger. This game also has some information about it, because we have the Battle of the Lewises. One Lewis, the player, the offline player for NoPing, and the 5 position player from South Team, another Lewis. So we have 2 Lewis on this match. It's been a meme for the last week on Brazilian community memes.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be an interesting affair, of course. Which Louis
Who's the better Louis?
That's kind of the downside with having such a, well, easy to kind of copy name. Like literally just someone's first name. As
no nickname, just use my name. That's it.
That's kind of a downside on that regard, but it does make for interesting shenanigans, because then we're going to see a lot of Lewis killed Lewis during the game, considering they're also laning against each other, so that's definitely going to be a fun affair. Going into this, what do you think, which team do you think is going to be more advantageous over the other? Do you think that it's just going to be NoPing, or do you think that South Team, you know, still has a ball in the game? Do you think that they have what it takes? I mean, they did make it through the Open Qualifiers without a hitch.
Yeah, definitely. I think NoPing has the biggest chance to win the series, but they need to respect some of South team's heroes. Hermit is very known as a Visage player, Beastmaster player, Lycan player. He is very good with those heroes. So I really hope NoPing will respect that, because this is where these new teams shine, playing their best heroes. So for NoPing, they're just very good players, very known, very experienced. They should not have a lot of problems facing South Team here.
Yeah, you'd think that, experience does have a tendency of also putting you in a certain lane where like every team runs that hero, so they're gonna run that hero. But for instance, South Team, even though we've seen it a little bit much come up more in different regions, South Team, for instance, they play the Pudge. They're one of those teams
Yeah,
that pick the Pudge. They play the Visage. They play Coddle. They play like there's a wide variety of heroes that you need to be very wary of because Visage by surprise could completely destroy a team. Same with some Pudges tend to be very good. Most of them tend to suck, but we'll have to watch the game to see if which is gonna transpire.
yeah. I actually casted a carry pudge on Southeast Asia this a couple of hours ago. The guy just destroyed the game with this pudge. So the hero seems to be very strong at the moment. We'll see. I guess it's just teams not getting very prepared for the hero.
Yeah,
And
it is
yeah,
very, very just tanky, and that you need a specific safe laner to counter it because you can't burst it down with that new third spell. It just does not really take any damage. So if he gets on top of, let's say, a TB, he could destroy a TB. But if you're up against, let's say, a Slark absolutely eats him up.
yeah. Slark wins the time battle. He outscales the Pudge in these fights. Slark is a pretty much dead hero at the moment. Sadly, because I like the hero. But this is where these heroes come back, right? When they're up their how can I say, their matchups come into play, the matchups where they shine against. This is where you can see the Slark. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I actually think I saw one in like Southeast Asia a couple of days ago, and they
Oh,
one
really?
team picked Pudge, the other picked Slark, and at that point you were already thinking, yeah, no, Pudge's dead. Like it's just free stats that you steal away from him. But that's only a couple of the heroes that we mentioned. NoPing, however, in their first games, they've picked the first two matches that they played. They picked the Tiny twice, and they picked the Bat Rider twice. DSL, of course, very known for playing the Bat Rider. Um, do you think that the Bat Rider is? I also think Luis plays Bat Rider. To be fair,
Yeah, he does.
but do you think that Bat Rider currently is in a very good position, or is it a little bit more of trying to surprise your opponents?
Mm. I mean, for these SA teams, I think it is very good because you can flex it. Because a lot of these SA teams are taking a page from Whisper's book. He played the Bat Rider on the offlane during the major, did very well with the hero. So some teams are trying to adapt to that playstyle. This hero is being made lane for a moment. So I'm happy to see this hero being played actually on other roles. So this hero has this thing on SA. You can play it offlane. So having these kind of flex heroes, which can play mid lane, off lane, or they add some graspness to the draft. I like that very much.
Yeah, for the people that are wondering, there are some issues going on right now with sorting that all the cams are working. So hopefully that will be resolved momentarily so that we can get into the game. That's why the pre-game is slightly longer than that it normally tends to be. But yeah, I am definitely looking forward towards this matchup because this is kind of a test between both teams. South team, of course, haven't had that many big performances against solid lineups, like big teams, big name-wise teams, and a lot of like people watching would immediately peg them for the team that gets eliminated. Like open qualifier team, they look a little bit rocky, at least in the first series they did. They
Yeah.
definitely, to me, had some opportunities, but like compared to, for instance, Mad Kings look like they're position 5 RM, Red Monster. That's of course the ex-coach of come on, work with me. Beast Coast. Like, they have an
Oh
entire
yeah.
different concept of just, like, his drafts are really good. They play the early game better than most other teams in Division 2. The late game gets a little bit problematic with the macro performance, but Mad Kings have that in the bag. Like, they are looking very solid. South team, we're going to need to see if they can step up and at least, you know, show that that both the close qualified teams have a thing to say here. And if they manage to upset NoPing, that would be a very big statement and a big blow to NoPing, considering they would still have to contest against the two top dogs.
Yeah, that would hurt NoPing a lot. This is the match they are supposed to win here. For them to have a good start on this DPC season. And as we already know, you cannot drop a single match on this DPC because this might mean relegation. This might mean you're not coming up. So this is very important. You can only drop like 2 games if you want to go to Div 1. There's only, I think, one season where the team with the 3 losses went to Div 1 to Div 2. So they need to be very focused right now. I hope they got back together. We'll see. South team, I think for them, if they manage to stay on Div 2, that would be awesome for them because the money, of course, these guys are new on the scene. They need they need this how can I say? They need to be getting paid to play, basically, especially these young teenager players, right? So
Yeah, that's
the experience, of course, this experience will, of course, count a lot also. So
Yeah.
staying on Div 2 would be the dream for them. I think they don't have much expectations to, oh, we got to Div 2, now we can qualify to Div 1. But, you know, Dota, new patch, things can happen.
Unfortunately, it's not that big of a patch, which is
Yeah.
very sad. But definitely, you know, South team, exactly what you said. If they can manage to stay in Division 2, 6th place, you get 7 grand. 7th and 8th place, aka you get kicked out, you get nothing. So that means 6 weeks of work, 7 weeks of pretty much 2 months, and you get nothing for it. That really hurts, and definitely think still that needs to change for these teams. But you know, if they can survive, if they can get at least the 7 grand for these young teams, and especially for a region where, you know, prices tend to be slightly lower than in other regions, 7K goes a long way, so that they can continue to compete and they can focus a lot more on the game. And that's how a team grows. That's why the DPC League is a very good idea, so that you at least pump money into the tier 2, tier 3 scene, well, primarily tier 2 scene, to make sure that the teams have the funds to continue to play and to continue to get better. As we saw at the major, for instance, they have been able to focus a lot more on just Dota itself. And you saw Beast Coast, well, of course, Beast Coast has always been pretty amazing, but Thunder Awaken as well. Like, they were a big revelation at the major, and it wouldn't surprise me if, like, Infamous does it at the next major. You really see the regions growing step by step, because of these extra funds that are being thrown in, so that they have incentives to constantly keep grinding and keep improving.
Yeah, thanks to DPC, this format is helping a lot the SA team, especially. These guys can prove that they can maintain this life, this player life. They are getting paid to play Dota, especially for these new players. Now they can tell at home, hey, I play Dota, now I get money, now I might get a career off this. So that's very good. Thanks to Valve.
Yep, that is one of the pluses. There are, of course, you know, a couple of things that everyone wants to have changed. For instance, the prize pool, for the most part. But that is a whole story. Probably after TI, they'll, I assume, have a new set of rules for the next moment. However, we are going to jump into the draft very quickly right now. There is a slight time being thrown in for the side of NoPing. I think they had some issues with getting the cameras ready, because everyone needs to have cameras to show that there's no one like in the room talking to them and stuff. For that regard, But now we do get ourselves into the draft. Immediately you see NoPing's done their research. Beastmaster ban, Visage ban, taken care of. South team get rid of Marcy because a lot of teams have been running that 5 position Marcy, which is pretty nasty. And well, a Tiny versus Doom Lich definitely feels like a Grimstroke ban will be next.
Yeah, the classic Kim Doom. These guys playing this hero a lot on these pubs. And this Lich was also thinking about this Lycan pick, I guess, because the Frost Shield, NoPing, has done his research, as you said.
Yeah, very, you can't ban all the zoo heroes, and with a tiny Lycan, you're already looking at 2 massive tower pushers. So you immediately know what South team want to do. Also, Doom can eat up Lycans, wolves and whatnot the entire time, so that's a big plus, but yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to counter out the incredible aggressiveness that South team are going to throw at them. So you're probably going to see a, NoPing picking up a core that wants to go late, aka Medusa or something, and South team that want to take the game early. Kind of duel. Yeah, there we see the Bloodseeker ban. Everything to make sure the Lycan has a game.
Yeah, this Bloodseeker ban is very important for South team. Maybe they will consider even the Grimstroke, as you mentioned, because Grimstroke's ultimate is a problem for Lycan at some point, so even they have the Doom, so it seems a very valuable ban for South team. Let's see, this Tiny is kind of a flex hero here. He can play the 1, he can play the 4, he can play the 2. A lot of options, even though the 1 Tiny is not a big thing right now, due to his talent nerfs, especially.
Yeah, don't really think it's that heavily picked. I mean, maybe with the Moonshard, but most teams tend to run away from it because it is pretty easy kiteable. I've even seen some teams choose to go for like the Sven in some cases, moreover, than the Tiny, though also not a hero that gets picked up that heavily. Look at the way that they're making sure Lycan has a game. They also banned the Naga Siren. Just anything that can deal with a Lycan gets taken care of.
Yeah, but if South team is planning to go for this classic Lycan lineups with the Zoo and another Aura hero, they need to ban this wave clear heroes. They ban Medusa. You mentioned the late game advantage this hero has.
Tide Hunter.
Ping is bringing the Tide Hunter. This hero, I don't see that much of Tide Hunter at the moment.
Yeah, but it does one thing very good, and that is destroy Lycan and his minions. So they're really throwing, like, AoE, you've got the Ravage to stop them, you've got the damage reduction, of course, on the Anchor Smash. Laning-wise can be very nasty as well. Depends on what you're laning up against. In this case, it might be a Lycan safe lane, could also be a Lycan possibly off lane, for that matter. I personally don't know which, South team who necessarily plays the Lycan. I would assume it's the offlane.
Yeah.
Maybe
Tide
5
plays like 1 on this Lycan, but he gets a lot of farm with the hero. He buys the auras.
Dire must choose.
Undying.
Yeah, full on early game. Hoodwink as well. Break effect against the Tide.
Oh.
And dying with the, of course, you just steal the Tide's strength during the laning stage, so he doesn't really become that much of a problem. So they're really playing on that counter pick for South team in the second phase.
Yeah, Doom and Tide Hunt, right? Against this DK lane. They get a carry pick here who has Q potential with the Undying. Tide Hunter might be in some trouble, at least on the first levels. Even the Doom.
Yeah, well,
PL getting picked.
Good against the Tide Undying Tombstone, obviously. That's, I would assume, the main reason. Plus, they have very little lockdown to deal with the PL. If he gets a couple of items, Tiny avalanches it, and the Hoodwink with the Bushwhack. But that Bushwhack is pretty rough to hit on a PL if he's paying attention.
Very hard. Okay, so South team now has this Tiny. Let's see if they consider this as maybe a carry here. I'd like to see a Ember pick if they go for the tiny carry. Plus style Ember against this PL sounds good. They only have the Doom to worry. The Ravage, the Ember can easily dodge. So they need another answer to this PL. The tiny cleave is not enough.
10 seconds.
Especially if the game goes late. So Lash is banned. PL Ember is open. Yeah, they can try to play Chamber here and maybe do something with the Tiny Mid and Lycan carry, just to make sure this PL does not have a great time. And also you have some magic, you have some pure damage against the Lich, which is awesome.
Yeah, right now, South team could be a mid-tiny, could be a different mid laner, of course. The Lash would have been a really good pick, to be fair. So, nice ban from NoPing's side.
Yeah.
Would you go all out on the push and pick up like a DP and just go ham, or a completely different route?
Yeah, I'm fine with this Pango pick as well, but that means it is tiny carry. The Pango provides some team fight. They were definitely lacking that. I like this hero. He has only to be ready to a Grimstroke pick here, honestly, because Grimstroke Lich, no joke against the Pango. Oh, my supports are already there, both. Oh, Lich and Doom, of course. Yeah, well, what am I saying?
Yeah, you'd say, of course, the Kim Doom, as you mentioned at the start.
Yeah.
The style Void Spirit, yeah, I guess pretty okay. The picks make a reasonable amount of sense. Looking at this game plan for South team, do you think they'll be able to pull it off, or do you think NoPing is going to be able to stop them?
This Void Spirit is very good against Lycan because he kills the summons with the Astro Step. This is a very good hero here. Also, this Tide Hunter, as you mentioned, the damage reduction, the Ravage, of course, being a very good spell. Even to kill the Pango, a lot of control. So I favor this NoPing draft here, but this PL, I'm not sure. They need to make this PL happen. They need to buy time for this. And South team, they want to speed up the game. They don't want to give this time, and we'll see. We'll see. I think NoPing has got a better chance here, but I see the threat of South team's draft also. But I'll go with the classic. I'll go with the experienced NoPing team.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of... If they didn't have that many answers, I'd probably go with South team, but they've got the Doom to eat the creeps, they've got the Tide to keep them at bay, they've got, of course, you mentioned it, the Frost Shield. They've got so many answers for the push. They even have a little bit of wave clear from the Void Spirit, but that's mainly so he can just like jump on the Hoodwink and blow him up in one fell swoop. So I definitely think NoPing have the correct draft this game.
Yeah. They only have to focus on the lanes, because what can go wrong for NoPing is if they manage to lose the lanes. If South team has any advantage on this mid game, this might be a disaster for NoPing. Yeah, here dead.
Woo! Blood for the Hoodwink. That's a nice opener for South team. But yeah, you did of course mention a very important aspect. If they do get the advantage in the laning stage and that goes wrong for NoPing, this can snowball out of control. It takes time before a PL can actually play.
Yeah, this hero does not like to play from behind. We'll see what he builds. If NoPing manages to get some early kills with this Void Spirit, I see Mandy going for this early default and trying to join some fights. Try to force the snowball.
Got the ward coming in by Lewis, and he's gonna deny the observer ward at the same time, just for a good measure, which Kim will spot out and not place his own sentry, considering he just sees the enemy taking down the observer, so there's really no reason to try and counter it.
Heads up play for him. Kim's got a sentry ready as well.
Magic wand fully picked up by the Tidehunter. Kim's just gonna quickly rush himself the Tranquils as fast as possible, but Louis will be able to harass Louis out of the lane very easily.
Yeah, this Undying pick was very good by South team, because NoPing's gameplay here, game plan here was to kinda leave this Tidehunter alone and try to play the map with the Doom, but the Tide cannot really play this lane alone. She'll get like level 3 or 4, so this messes with the NoPing game plan, at least for the couple levels.
And that's gonna be the creep's in a very awkward position, but that gives some time for Louis to get some free farm. What lane do you think most of the action is gonna happen? Where do you think we're gonna see the first real kills coming through? Do you think it's a mid matchup?
This is very skill dependent. Skill wins this lane, and Leo Style seems to be doing a very good job here. Not only in last hits, but also in the resources. But bot lane, you know, Lich lanes are always dangerous. We see Hermit here, very low. I think bot lane is a threat. They need to get some pulls going here, though, because the lane is in front of Lycan's tower. This is very good for him.
So far, Louis still struggling a little bit, but you pretty much have Kim playing as, you know, a 3.5, as of course hero players like Yapster tend to do a lot. He's already got his Tranquils done, he's got a point to devour, so he can eat up the creeps, 6 last hits. So they're playing with, well, both those heroes kind of combined at the moment. Currently, slight advantage though for South Team regardless.
Yeah, Tidehunter is not having a great time here. The Kim is trying to break this lane, is trying to aggro Undying's attention so the Tidehunter can play 1v1 this lane, but this 1v1 lane is not going great for him.
Yeah, that's the downside of playing
rune
against Undying. There are some of those heroes that are really just good at one thing, and that is Undying, just bullying you out of the lane. Tends to be a lot weaker later on. I think with the changes, of course, over the recent years, he has more value with like the Flash Golem debuff and whatnot, but for the most part, especially if you're up against a PL, you get to a point where PL joins the fight when he has his Diffusal Manta, and at that point, the Tombstone is gone in half a second, and it doesn't really matter what the Undying does.
Yeah. What is Kim trying to do here? Oh, he's waiting for the wave.
Living things die.
He kind of missed one creep here. I'm not sure if it was on purpose, maybe trying to get only attention of 2 creeps.
Always a nice
Louis is chasing Louis here. Already started.
Yeah, definitely pissing each other off. In the meantime, they are going to get the kill onto Duna in the bottom lane. So the Lich does get taken down. That is the first laning stage kill secured. Towards mid, James is definitely struggling right now against Leo Style. Just laning stage wise, a lot in last hits difference coming through. And also in experience wise, Leo Style about a half a level ahead of James, which is a bit of a struggle because Leo Style is a player with a very famous position in the region.
Yeah.
So many different teams he's been a star of.
Very skilled and experienced player here. Pango even having to walk to base 3 minutes 6. So that means Void Spirit's gonna get a free level 6 here. The next rune is very important for his South team, because if Void Spirit gets that, the TP threat will be online.
If he gets a decent one,
Dunya?
that is. Duna again in trouble. Okay, bottom lane, they have the coconut available as well. Get the bounce going, Duna. Staying alive thanks to the Frost Shield, but a TP coming in from Kim. They need to disengage. Kim does have that movement speed aura, but he does not have the Inferno Blade available to keep Monty at bay. And it will just be a bully while Dunya has to stay AFK for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, he almost died to the wolves. They dived him into the tower. That was close.
Luckily enough, Lycan's not level 5 yet, so he doesn't have the maim ability on the wolves. Oh no, wait, that's at level 4. Never mind, that's the cripple. They do have invis at level 3 at the very least. Nonetheless, Kim's gonna get charged upon. Can they get the damage in? He does have the movement speed of Scorcher, but with that Vulture, still he can heat himself on the high ground and does get himself away. And he's going for the Hand of Midas because he is a 4 position. Yep. That's kind of, yeah, I'm a 4 position Doom first item, Hand of Midas.
Yeah, Devour with 2 points already is not enough. He needs more. He wants to play like semi-core at this point. Because even though Tide Hunter had a slow start, they did not manage to kill this hero. Has the magic wand ready, has the Ring of Health. So yeah, the Doom can be a little bit greedy here.
This Tide, who had a terrible lane, is out farming the Pangolier. Even the Doom is currently ahead in net worth compared to the Pangolier, and that is disastrous because the Pangolier is going to be the one that has to make the plays and the rotations. Louis going in onto the Tide. Tombstone is down, but the Tombstone will slowly but surely get right-clicked into oblivion by Kim. And toss up. They're trying to take down Kim in return. Louis is out of mana. He actually gets pushed away, and they should not be able to get a kill secured because Tiny, of course, went for the tree grab levels, which does mean that he does not actually have any burst, and that means it's really hard to kill off double heavy strength duo.
Hoodwink is here. She's smoked, but very low in resources on South team, especially this Undying. No Tombstone as well, so very little kill threat. Next rune coming though.
It is going to be a room bottom, a regen. That's a very nice one to pick up. Monty trying to deny it. Nice Sinister Gaze, and it gets scooped up by Leostyle in the nick of time. Great move from Duna to defend the regen rune, because regen tends to beat regen double damage. Probably the most influential ones at this stage.
Yeah, very efficient for the mid laners also. You can just farm with this rune. Use his health as resource to show mid lane. Even he gets smoked. Bottom lane. Shapeshift.
As his Helm of the Dominators going in for Dunya, and we'll get the quick kill. Plus, he's like taking no damage from Melancholy, aka Mandy, at all. Like completely ignoring the damage from the PL.
Rolling Thunder top, they kill the Hoodwink, and they might kill the Tide Hunter here.
Juke. Oh no, the tree gets cut. And they will find the kill, but in return, Louis and Louis both fall. James trying to disengage, but Leostyle is on the chase. James can get away. He does have a swashbuckler available. Should be able to walk to safety.
Okay, that could be worse for South team if the Pango died. Good thing is Shiny is still farming. He's farming his... Oh, he's going for the Moon Shard.
I love the Moonshot way more than the Echo.
Yeah, me too.
Echo is just like Moonshot pretty much gives you permanent Echo. Compared to
Echo is boring.
Which is like it gives you a little bit of stats, which is nice. But to be fair, Tiny already is walking around with like 1700 HP. He doesn't need more strength.
And the Night Vision also is underrated. This hero can push the lanes. He can play with vision. Another rune for the Pango. I mean, for the Void Spirit.
Yeah, he does get it scooped up. Tombstone got dropped though, so Leostyle needs to be careful. But he does have a ton of disengage possibilities, plus even that invis and an 18 magic wand.
South team has a catch problem. I was hoping to see corrosion on the Bango. So the slow is very nice with the tombstone. But since he is not having a great time here, he's going for the diffuser rush. Those more items for the Bango.
Yeah, makes sense. Can get. I mean, to be fair, the over corrosion also gives you a lot more aggression early on, but I don't think the Tiny wants to do anything just yet. He definitely wants to first get his item. If they get the defusal, I mean, that's kind of go time, especially because the Lycan is getting very close, finishing up his Helm of the Overlord, and that is a creep the Doom cannot get rid of for until he's level 50.
Script is very good. They wanna kill Lycan here. I like this move a lot.
They are gonna go in. Monty is nearby, but they immediately disengage the moment that they see something funky behind Hermit. It's a little bit too sketchy. Yeah, it's very easy to dodge. Plus, look at this. The PL went for a Vanguard as a first item. He's tanking up to make sure he does not get overwhelmed.
Yeah, the Lycan and the Tiny, a lot of physical damage coming. I like this Vanguard build. This smoke for NoPing was they were very shy on this gank. Only Void Spirit went. Of course, it was very close to the tower, but why even go there if you're not diving? Mandy might be in trouble.
He just gets 150. That snipe though breaks the PL, but a great Ravage comes in from Luis. The Doom gets thrown out, but James is already rolling in this Rolling Thunder. Does go the wrong direction, gonna get the melancholy catch. Landy is gonna get caught, but he can't get out of the roll. However, will still manage to get the kill. Chain Frost bouncing all over the place. Luis takes a heap of damage. Luckily enough, it bounces to a different direction. However, Luis is still going to falter. And they do manage to take down the PL, but it cost them way too much. That Ravage was on point.
On point, and he was the first one to TP, right? That was very important for this answer. Dope Chain Frost also by Dunya.
You got a decent amount of tools. Ravage, of course, plus the Void Spirit clears up the creeps. Then the Chain Frost hopefully goes on the right targets. I mean, you always need a little bit of luck behind it. And this, later on, you also will have that Lich with the Shard, which is very solid.
If you ask him, he'll say that was skill.
As every Lich ever
just
does.
Nail the perfect moment to throw it.
Unfortunately,
Lil Style going for the Witchblade, the Thompson special. A lot of damage on this hero at the moment.
Seems to be some little server lags at the moment, but yeah, the Witchblade first item, do you think it's warranted this game for like clear, or would you rather have maybe a Eul's to try and survive a bit more against like the Pangolier charging you?
I think that would be a very passive approach for the Void Spirit. He had a great lane, he's having a great game, so investing on these damage items feels better. And also, after Top Sunset on stream, that if you're not going Witchblade and Void Spirit, you're a noob. So I think a lot of mid laners are considering going for this Witchblade right now.
Yeah, but Thompson ain't competing anymore, so it's
all
about what Nine says now. Nine's taken over the Thompson mantle. He plays Clockwork mid, goes for the BKB Ags, Maelstrom, like a real Chad, destroys people, OG with that in the matchup. You know, you got some people that are just built differently.
Yeah, Nine's a shed at the moment. I like this guy a lot.
Actually can't believe that that's a build. And it works. Oh. But yeah,
are you ready to
yeah, Void Spirit, definitely a hero you don't get to see too often anymore. Though Storm Spirit has been fallen off of the meta in the last week after the patch changes. I mean, the no longer going for the 4 talisman build, luckily enough.
Thanks God.
It was stupid. It made no sense. And now it's kind of a very terrible item. Well, not terrible, but
We'll see. Maybe OD makes a comeback.
yeah,
Who
that's the
knows?
thing. OD is super good with that item.
Last time we seen this hero was the meme hammer shenanigans. Seems to be a little bit dead right now. Let's see if the nose change will bring the hero back. So considering this 2k advantage for NoPing, South team is managing to have the farm on Tiny. Is top net right now. Of course, the PL died because PL is not far from him. But the Lycan is also very strong.
Let's get started.
Yeah, that Helm of the Overlord is a pretty nice pickup, and he is pretty much done with it as well. Let's see, how far is the banger with the defusal? Once he's got that defusal blade, it kind of is go time for South team to try and make moves, get a decent fight, take Roche, start mowing down buildings, which it's surprising to me that that bottom tier 1 is still standing.
Yeah, because the NoPing is paying a lot of attention on the bot lane. So every time South team shows like 2 to 3 heroes here, NoPing also brings the numbers. I would like to see South team exploring more this Ravage window to play more aggressive. Ravage is online again, and South team basically just farmed while the spell was on cooldown.
Luis gonna get sniped, that's gonna get the break in, and he is very dead. And that's the beauty of a Hoodwink. He also went for the Veil of Discord, so a lot of magic damage. Even though they don't really have that much magic damage on South team, it's mainly physical at the moment. There's going to be a defense of the tier 1 tower. Smoke on the side as well. They're looking for a fight here, NoPing. It's dangerous without the anything in the vicinity. James just drains Leo Styles' mana. He's out of it at the moment. Can he get the catch? No, he will not. Kim is going to get the Doom off. They do manage to lose the Lich in the process, charging further for more, but they'll just disengage, wait for the Doom to end on the Pangolier before he can rejoin the fight. Actually, in comes the Tiny. He brings in a lot of damage with that Moonshine. Oh my god! Mandy is dead, and Leo Style needs to run away. Doesn't have a TP, doesn't have mana, doesn't have much.
Yeah, NoPing cannot go for this fight without the Ravage if Tiny comes. That's a lot for PL to handle. Very good play for Dire team here, bringing the Tiny, bringing the numbers when it matters.
I mean, the greatest thing about that bow, toss up, look at that Tiny damage. My god, he wrecks him. He's got the shard, so he doesn't have to lose his tree at all, and that's going to probably be the tier 2 tower as well, unless he buys back, but he doesn't have a TP, so buying back doesn't really do much with the Tide as well. You know what's the greatest thing about that team fight in the bottom lane?
What?
NoPing tried to reinitiate where the Tide was getting closer to respawning. It was like 10 seconds left until he respawns. So in that case, you could possibly like respawn, TP in towards the tier 1 tower and go for the fight. But the moment that he pretty much respawned, Lycan got rid of the tier 1 tower. So there was no chance for him to TP in, and he had to go towards the outpost. And that was a really good read from South team.
Yo, yeah, Hermit, he killed the Lich, and I just moved my camera towards the Pango. I wasn't paying that much attention. Very good play.
Playing objective gaming, Tombstone gets dropped. They spot Luis. He's got, of course, that Ravage, but he's going to get broken again. Gets the Ravage off in time. However, the rest of his team is nowhere to be seen. And they need to be very careful. Luis, no Ravage, no fear in that regard. Other Luis heals himself up instantaneously with the Soul Rip back to full HP.
Here
after
comes
being
the
almost dead.
Lycan.
And Tide Hunter on the run. Can he get away? Hermit trying to finish him off. That Kraken shell coming in clutch here. And Luis,
oh my god,
he's actually just gonna survive. And I hear Chain Frost on the side because they're fighting 2 different battles. Rena in trouble, but James is here. Swashbuckle comes in to disarm. The damage is immense. Avalanche onto Leostal. Can they take him down? Rena needs the toss up. Leostal doesn't have any spells. 2 seconds until he can dive, but he is done for. And that should be Roche in favor of South Team. And their timing is now, and they are playing this game to perfection.
And they are outlasting NoPing. It feels like NoPing is having some comms problem here, because they're having a lot of trouble finding the hero, finding the good jump and the kill afterwards. We saw a good Ravage, but no hero died.
Oh, Doom, top lane. Gonna be another one in favor of South Team. Luckily enough, net worth advantage is not massive, but this tiny is.
And you should not be giving Hermit this free of a game on the Lycan. 5-0 right now. He's going for the Orchid build, so he wants to play carry here, which is very reasonable considering the game he's having.
He's got the shard
tiny.
being delivered as well, so you're constantly gonna have to deal with the lanes being pushed out.
This Tiny feels like the best hero if he gets to level 20, and his team is doing well also. Okay.
Why would you ever get an Echo if you can see how fast he attacks with just the moonshot?
Yeah, I know, right? Tango roll.
Can they lock him down? Stun. He dies just barely. Tombstone drop, but he's gonna get broken. He's dead again. Mandy gets caught. Dunya on the run. Will be avalanched upon, and that is a double kill. And they're playing so spread out on NoPing. Like, where is the rest of the team? Where is Louise?
What was Mandy even doing there? He had no business going for, I don't know, a rune?
I don't know. Just chilling. He doesn't, like, his items are okay, but it doesn't really give him a chance to realistically fight. Especially not against the Tiny. Like, you've got this item, the Vanguard is pretty nice against the Lycan, but it doesn't do anything against the big heavy damage that the Tiny brings.
And Tiny has BKB now. Good luck trying to kill this hero. NoPing is getting to the point where NoPing have to get a very good initiation and a very good follow-up.
Careful, Mandy. Okay, yeah, he does dodge it in time. But yeah,
very good ward for South team as well and bot lane.
You mentioned it as well, very importantly. Like, he gets the BKB on Tiny. The only tool they have against BKB is Doom. You don't want to Doom a Tiny, because it does nothing.
He even get the status resistant talent, so it's not worth it.
Well, Luis, this is your time to shine. He's a very good Ravage. If he wants to
high ground time.
Happen. Oh, this is rough. He also decided not to continue the ads. Instead, he went for the Wraith back. And I mean, I get it, but they're just being absolutely shoved in. Chain Frost thrown out just to deal with the creeps and the siege creep. It doesn't even kill them in the process. The supports do take a bit of damage though. That's a full set of racks picked up.
Mandy does not feel comfortable to fight anymore. They cannot defend high ground without the carry. 3 set of racks. Still 1.5 minutes on these Aegis. They definitely can go for another play. They want to check the rune, okay. Haste rune, very good. Look at how NoPing are scared. 4 heroes inside the base.
And the thing is, the net worth advantage is 5k, which is not that great. It's not massive. But most of that difference between them as well is the Doom. The Doom is just really farm. However, you've got a Doom with a Hand of Might as BKB. Realistically, he doesn't really do much. Even has the mana burn talent instead of like a Centaur Song.
Yeah.
Going in onto the Tiny. Still has the Aegis though. So he doesn't really care if he loses his life. Can always just pick up a new tree.
Has to go.
Yeah, that's the second set of racks. Just picked up. Thank you very much. No real defense.
They wanna time with the Aegis expiring, I guess.
Yeah, but
Look at this disengage. Okay, another 3 racks.
And the Wolves even finished off the range racks for good measure. Ooh, NoPing. I mean, he said it at the beginning. You know, if they lose this series, there is a very, very, very small chance that they make it forward.
Yeah, this might even go into their heads before the series ends. Because losing game 1 like this, not even get to play,
Look at Lycan's item. Look
that
at what
must be
Hermit's going.
frustrating. Oh,
The classic Aghanim Scepter, Lycan, bite his Tiny, and then you got a Tiny with haste running around with... Well, he's going for a silk. Like, this is looking very rough. Double damage in the river as well. Gonna get
Oh
spotted
my
out.
God.
Oh,
this double damage plus the Lycan bite. This is gonna hurt.
yeah, they smoke up. Oh, this is looking like it might just be all said and done in game number 1.
No, Pink is not ready for what's coming. I wanna see if he can one-shot the Lich at this point. That will be funny.
Yeah, Lich doesn't have much. Most of his investment is in that shard. Icefire is pretty nice. So. Oh. Well, they know that the Lich is in the trees. The coconut bounces.
Him wants to jump them before the high ground defense.
Oh, the Doom on the Tiny. That's the target they want to go for. Chainfrost comes out. The Ravage gets blown. Rolling Thunder. James can keep them occupied, but they might just lose the Tiny, and that's a pretty big one. Rina is dead.
He's dead.
And I think he just got bitten as well by the wolf bite. That's a huge play coming out from NoPing. They catch him by surprise. Really thought that he was immortal. Unfortunately, he does get dealt in. Does still have the double damage bottle, but there's a glimmer of hope now they managed to at least get rid of the big bad bully.
Yeah, the Tiny wasn't very careful going on the trees. Because if he pops BKB, he could just turn and hurt people. Because the lifesteal aura, right? He might be able to survive the Doom. But very good play for Kim.
Well, right
He's
now...
buying time.
Yeah, that's the main important factor. They are buying time. You do have the Basher next for the PL as his next choice item, which is pretty nice, especially against the Tiny. You need as much lockdown as possible to keep him at bay, and it also, of course, pierces BKB, which is a definite must at this stage in the game.
Are scanning for enemies.
Yeah, South team, they can just wait for the Roshan if they want to. They can try to take this tier 2 tower because no Doom, no Ravage. So very good window for them.
Yeah. I'm curious at what his thought process was there.
Yep, there's a note saying here, which is the curiosity killed the cat.
Tower has fallen.
So what is Lich doing there?
Yeah, he just walked in towards his death. Thought he was immortal. Buyback coming out from the Lich. Rolling Thunder comes through. They don't have the Ravage for 35 seconds. They know it. There's the stun lock. And Mandy gonna get away. No, he is dead. 50 seconds. No buyback in the PL. This is looking rough. Can they defend it though? It's just 25 seconds until the Tide Ravage. Doom in 15. They need everything they can muster to try and defend until the PL respawns. Jumping from Leostal going in for Rina. The Tiny is dropping pretty low, but he will be able to run away. The Chain Frost not gonna bounce enough just yet. And they will be able to keep a hold of their high ground.
Okay, the forest, a buyback, the forest, the glyph as well, which is very, very important. And now they'll have the Roshan. The timing is perfect for South team.
A free roll up shard for the Pangolier as well. But yeah, Mandy is just dying. I mean, it is terrible, but at this point you might do. Yeah, Heart is a must-need item, and maybe not. I mean, it sounds terrible, but maybe even the BKB on a PL.
Let's see if NoPing still wants to fight now. Oh
Jump
no!
in, James, that's a big catch. Ravage is blown as well. Antarina does, of course, have that Aegis. We'll get the toss in, but the Shadow Blade should get him out of harm's way. Luis is going to get stunned up. In comes Mandy. And he's just quickly going to get rid of, well, easy money, 250 bucks added in, the tombstone on top. That's a lot of cash, yeah. That's 450 bucks for Mandy and 2 cleared creatures.
Under attack.
Yeah. But hear me out. No Doom, no Ravage. This game might be over. They just need to get resources and go again. Go top lane. No Glyph as well. Very good place to be if you're a South team here. Just wait for the Pango and go again. What can NoPing do to defend this high ground?
That's kind
They
of the
need to
big
push
downside.
this top wave.
That is the problem with having a cooldown dependent lineup. Doom and Ravage very lengthy cooldown. The rest of the, I mean, Chain Frost also pretty lengthy, but it's not like the Chain Frost is really the big problem in these fights. But the amount of creeps and stuff that South team bring to the table.
Yeah, here comes the Wolves.
There's the first one. And the second one's enough, charging in. Rena gets the break onto the Tide. He's trying to get rid of the Tide beforehand. Tombstone gets dropped and just focus down the buildings. No fortification is available. And objective gaming comes through. Can they get it done without any defense being thrown out? Pretty much going to be the case. Roll does end. That is going to be mega secured momentarily. Nice stun onto Mandy. Drag back Rena. Does still, of course, have the ace available if need be. The snipe comes out onto the PL. They will look for Louise. Control onto the Tiny. Leostal is still bringing a lot of damage to the table. However, Leostal is done for. Doesn't have a buyback available. Mandy is in trouble as well. Can he get away? Yes, he can. Louise, 20 seconds until he has the Ravage. Kid with a great centaur stomp to keep the Tide alive. The GG gets called, and South team start this series with an upset.
What an upset. I think you should not give Hermit Lycan. Visage we already know, but this Lycan hero also. Hero's been buffed.
But that's the problem. Like, they banned the Visage, they banned the Beastmaster. I mean, you only have 2 bans at the start. How are you going to ban every single micro hero out there that an offlaner enjoys?
Yeah, you may have to steal one of these heroes. NoPing needs to go for a first pick here to face these kind of teams and hope for the best. It's like more of a pick your poison. The Lycan was deadly on this first game.
Yep, definitely felt like South team. I mean, if NoPing had a lot of answers, and still the answers were not anywhere near enough to be able to put up a fight. South team, very solid engagements. You know, that Moonshard, Tiny, we talked about the fact, of course, we don't see much Tiny anymore. It's fallen off, yada, yada, yada. But then once you see a Moonshard Tiny walk into the fight, and he just 3 shots the PL, who has a Vanguard to try and stay alive, what more can you do? He just absolutely tore them apart. Great game from South team, and I stand corrected. They definitely do deserve this spot here in Division 2, and they might just be another upset. Maybe that first series that we saw last week was just a bit of a fluke, but NoPing need to step up right now. They lost the first one. Can they get themselves back if they want to even have a chance at promotion? Because if you're 0-2 and you still have to play against Ravens and the Curitiba lineup, it's looking very rough in the region.
Scary.
But we will have to go towards a short little break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back for game number 2 after that break. Don't go anywhere, because this series is definitely not over by a long shot. We'll be right back.